New signs of a growing Democratic divide. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi taking shots at her party's embrace of socialism. Take a look.
Medicare for all, it's not only being pushed by some members of your caucus, but also some of the presidential candidates. Yeah. And it is allowing the president to say you're all socialists.
Do you know that when Medicare was done by the Congress at the time, under Lyndon Johnson, Ronald Reagan said Medicare will lead us to a socialist dictatorship. This is an ongoing theme of the Republicans. However, I do reject socialism as an economic system. If people have that view, that's their view. That is not the view of the Democratic Party.
And Pelosi also not impressed with new outspoken progressive members of Congress like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
You have these wings, AOC and her group on one side.
That's like 5 people.
No, it's the progressive group. It's more than 5.
I'm a progressive.
Well, I'm going to go to the Democratic member of this table. Miss Donna.
That's what you mean?
Right.
You did give money to Obama.
Right.
That's a long story.
Well, there are millions of us, and I'm sure that
was the party
watching.
Has your party been hijacked? I think is the big question.
No. When it comes to making public policy, we're having a dance party. We're talking about things that the American people are worried about, whether it's health care, where 20–30% of their take-home pay is spent on premiums or paying for prescription medicine. This is a very interesting conversation we're having internally during this presidential cycle, where we're going to debate everything from climate change to reparations to Medicare for all. I don't know what will end up in the Democratic platform. I don't know what will end up on Capitol Hill, but I'm glad to see that we're having a debate about serious issues.
Jesse, it seems like ever since they allowed Bernie to run on the ticket, even though they gave him some pushback, that the party is going more and more left instead of finding that middle America, the old Joe Biden Democrats, the old Donna Brazile Democrats.
Be careful with saying me old, baby.
Call her old.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I'll touch you.
Right.
Well, Donna said the Democrats are having a dance party. I just don't think they have any rhythm.
Ooh.
You guys are way off
Coming
beat.
from Jesse.
You guys are way off beat, and you can't find it. I would look at what we just saw there and say this. AOC just got slapped square in the face by Nancy Pelosi on network television right off of the Masters lead-in, which Tiger won. Everybody saw that. She's got to be sitting at home thinking, what the hell did I just see? And from what I know about AOC, she's going to come for the throne, because this is not the first time this happened. Remember, Nancy Pelosi mocked her Green New Deal, said green dream or whatever you call it, and then said it's more important to have more votes than Twitter followers. So at this point, it looks like Nancy didn't really have to handle it that way. She could have said, you know what, I'm a Democrat, I'm a progressive, and we have moderates, and we have young, up-and-coming Democratic socialists, but we all want health care and we all hate Trump. But she didn't do that. She was cold on purpose, and that tells me a few things. That tells me there's a lot of bad blood between AOC and Nancy. It tells me the Civil War is real, and it also says that Nancy knows that AOC and her merry band of socialists, they need to be contained, not mainstreamed.
Oh, my God. There's a big difference between rhythm and groove, and it's something that Republicans need to understand. But we'll get into that later during our day.
Yeah, when we go to Nashville, we'll see
Let's get Dana in here real quick.
Okay.
Dana, she slaps her on TV, but she still gives her powerful committee assignments.
Yes.
There's still a lot of pressure going from that progressive wing. They're like the Freedom Caucus. So she can talk all day, but where's the energy?
And I think Nancy Pelosi is trying to lead a party where you have the voters the candidates moving a little bit farther left than where mainstream voters are in America. So Pelosi's looking at this saying, okay, so I've got this new firebrand, and she's got a megaphone, and everyone listens to everything she says. But I also have 31 House districts where Trump won, but Democrats won in 2018. And she's got to try to protect those in 2020. So I think she's trying to do her best. From what I can see, AOC has held her fire against Pelosi, but that might not last forever. And pretty soon, if you see President Trump taunting them, right, driving a wedge between the two of them and suggesting, hey, AOC, why can't Pelosi get anything done? Don't you want to turn the fire inwards? Or as President Obama explained to us last week, a circular firing squad. Remember that, Greg?
I never heard of that until he said it.
Greg, there was a big swing on socialism.
I'm scared of big swings.
Yeah,
I fall right out of them.
She shut it completely down and said it's not the Democratic Party.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's like being in the headlining band. You don't want to hear anybody tell you how great the opening band is. It drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Or and that's what. So Nancy's like going, I don't really want to hear about these people. Okay, they're nothing. I've been around forever. These are just some little. This is the cool kid phenomenon. You know, the loudest kids, they come in, they make the noise, but will they be around like Nancy? Who knows? I actually, for once, sympathize with her because she's not battling her party or even Republicans. She's battling a consensus activist media who falsely enlarged the footprint of three newcomers, the young upstarts, if you will. So they've mistaken, the media, it does this, they've mistaken the bluster on Twitter and the Twitter exchange for impact when you know that the real work is being done somewhere else. So there's an illusion of influence based on Twitter footprint and intersectionality that Nancy's like going, you know what, that's not what this party is. And they got to listen to Nancy, because if they do chase the beliefs of the upstarts, you might get, if you get a candidate who's running against Trump on reparations and socialized health care and the new Green Deal, you're going to lose.
Yeah, but it's just not a handful from the college campuses.
Yeah.
It's okay to say that when it was just Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie came with reinforcements now, and so I think they have to take them seriously.
No, let me just say this. As a Democrat, she's right. There's only about 5 or 6 people who self-identify as a Democratic Socialist.
Yeah.
And while they make a lot of noise, they're not the band that's playing the music within the party.
All right, we got to go up
Metaphor.
next.
Tonight, the president promising to make his threats of sending illegal migrants that the United States can no longer house in detention centers to sanctuary cities a reality, arguing that he believes he does have the legal right to do so. This despite the left's insistence that it's illegal and, in their view, despicable that he's trying to use people as, quote, pawns. Okay. You know what? Let's just cut to the chase here, and let's just deal with reality and forget about the political posturing, please, can we, for just a moment? Because these are the facts. More than 100,000 people attempted to cross our border illegally last month. That number could swell to 150,000 this month. The situation is so out of control that our government has had to release thousands of migrants into border communities in Texas and in Arizona, communities that are already stretched by the influx of illegals. They don't want them. These communities absolutely do not want them. But cities across the nation, they have been all for protecting illegal immigrants in the past. Some of them watch.
Let us build a house stronger than the coming storms, yet open to the world. A house that provides shelter to all who need it and sanctuary to all who seek it.
Sanctuary policies actually make cities safer.
Chicago was a sanctuary city before anybody knew what sanctuary city meant.
All right, well, if you all feel so strongly about this, then hey, I'll tell you, put your money where your mouth is, okay? And yet they're not doing that. In fact, here's the left tonight blaming the president for trying to send migrants, how dare they, to their communities. Come on. I mean, you know what? You cannot have your cake and eat it too, guys. Which is it, right? If you feel so strongly about migrants, if you feel that they need to be here in this country, then for goodness sakes, take them in yourselves, right? Don't pretend that you want them and then refuse to embrace them and get mad at the president because he suggests sending them to you. I'll tell you, this is a classic, not in my backyard liberal move. It's somehow okay for Texas to have to deal with them, just so long as California, New York, some of these other states don't. As for whether this is legal or not, you know what? I do have a suggestion. Offer migrants the option of moving to Pelosi's district. I'm sure they'd rather relocate to a community that says they want them than a community that says they do not, right?